in from Telescope to do something that's more like exactly what you're looking for. So you can check out built-ins that exist in telescope.builtin to see any of the ones that exist. For right now, we'll do one like find files. So find files is a common one. All it does is find files in a directory that you specify. Generally, when you call telescope.builtin find files, it just passes in the default arguments, which just means it's going to find files in the current directory that you have. But sometimes you want to be able to find files in another directory. So for example, I actually have one that searches my dot files because I often go in and edit my dot files. So to make one for yourself that does a similar idea, what you'd want to do is I recommend making some file that's probably like a file inside of your NVIM setup. It's a Lua file so that you can export a bunch of functions and write something more complicated than just what you might want to do in one line. So I have a mapping, which is still in my old FZF here, which just basically says for people who want to do something like this, you would probably do you would have some mapping somewhere that looks like, we'll get rid of these reloads because you don't need those. Just require my user.tele or something like that, edit neovim, right? So this is how you could then set up this command to run and require some setup and then edit neovim. Optionally, if you want this to always reload, you could use something like plenary to reload your directory, but that's maybe for a different time, but it mostly revolves around doing something like plenary.reload module, or sorry, reload module my user.tele or something like this. That'll reload your configuration in case you change anything. This is basically like resourcing your file, right? So okay, so now you've got this mapping leader en for edit neovim. It calls a Lua function. Yours would probably not have this reloader here, so just ignore that. And then inside of here, you can set up the configuration that you want exactly for this method. So for me, I like to have the path shortened for get files, so I like having this. But if you didn't want that, you could just put false here. And then when you would resource, it would show you the whole path. And then you can specify, for example, current working directory. So when you want to like do something with get files or find files or things like that in different working directories, you can do just that same thing. You can specify a prompt or a height or a bunch of different options that you want to do. So that's the basic way that you can configure things. There's also beginning to be this idea of themes. One of the themes is Git dropdown. This is the only one that exists right now. Big shout out to Rockerboo for making this. And this will completely change the way that Telescope looks for you. So now this sort of looks this way for me. And I think I must have changed that. So let me actually go back to themes because I think I changed the height of this. Oh, sorry, it's in layout strategies. I think before I had something like 10. So it looks like this so that it's nice floating and like in the center of your window, right? So you can actually pass in more options or themes and you can read about some of those in the docs. That's the general way that you can start configuring the built-ins to be more exactly what you're looking for and even start searching other directories or other locations or different heights or any of those sort of options you can do.